What I really want to talk to you about today is change. I want to change the way that you think about how you get your clients completely. I don't want you to have to hard sell anymore. I don't want you to ever cold call ever again. And in 90 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to accomplish that. Okay? Does that sound good? What? Come on, guys. Damn, I know it's the afternoon. Y'all eating them damn big-ass pretzels. You can't think. All right. So I know this is a part of the show where I'm supposed to give you my big backstory and my history. I'm supposed to tell you about my wife, my kids, family pets. It's our cat, Cujo. But I'm not going to do any of that. I want to get serious right now. I want you to get serious with me for just a few minutes. And I want to talk to you about the only three, who knows that there are only three ways in the world to build a business? There are only three, one lady. There are only three methods in the world to build a business. Only three ways in the whole, oh, that's the wrong three-way picture, I'm sorry. All right, there are only three ways in the world to build a business. Number one is mass. That's the one most people spend all their time on. That's getting more new customers, right? Unfortunately, this is a twofold lesson, by the way. This is a lesson you need to know for your business, but this is also a lesson you need to teach your clients because they don't know this, okay? They don't know this. The number one way that everybody thinks they get clients, that they're going to grow their business is by getting more clients. Unfortunately, that's the most expensive method of growing your business of all the three, and actually the least effective. Actually the least effective. Now, mind you got to have some, right? Or the other two don't work. Okay? But the point is, most people put 100% of their effort in that and 0% of their effort in the other two. I would suggest that you put 30% of your effort in each and you'll do very, very well. Okay? Number two is volume. That means that every time I get a customer, my next point is getting that customer to spend more money with me, right? To make the transaction size larger. How many of you guys have social media packages you sell? Okay, so most people have one package. You want to send people up to a bigger package over time. You want to offer more things for them, you do a better job, you want to spend more time on their account. That's volume. And I'll give you good examples of that in a minute. The next thing is frequency. And that's getting people to come back and spend money with you more often. Those last two are very easy to manipulate and improve upon. So much better than the first one. So much easier than the first one. And they'll generate so much more of your profit. Everybody worries about how much sales they generate. They generate more of your profit than anything. And I'll explain what I mean in just a second. So like I said before, I want to work this system out for you. I want to work out a system for you to get people to call you. So this is what we're doing right now in our business. And I got to credit a good friend of mine, Dean Jackson, who has what's the name of the podcast, Ryan? Are you in the room? I Love Marketing podcast. Dean is a freaking ninja genius. And when I heard Dean telling this story, I wanted to apply it to our business, and so far our results are phenomenal. It's called the Cheese and Whiskers story. Okay? And it's all about this little guy. Where am I at here? Yeah, it's all about this little guy. Okay? Rats' brains are very much like humans' brains, believe it or not. That's a reason rats are the most commonly used lab animal. They think and they behave much like human beings. Now here's something, these thoughts, what I'm going to tell you, you need to write down, and I hope you get this, because if you get this, it's going to change your whole freaking business, if you can get this idea. A rat, or a mouse in this case, will chew a hole through a 3-foot thick wall to get to a piece of cheese. Right? But they will run as fast as they can in the opposite direction by the movement of a whisker. Because the cat is their natural enemy. Right? Your business owners all have cheese. They have a currency. They have something that they want. right? But I bet you 90% of you are approaching them right now with your whiskers exposed. Hi, my name is Bob, and I'm here to see the owner. Is he in? Right? I was in San Diego, California. By the way, if you guys, how many of you guys out cold calling doing that? God help you. All right, good for you. I was in California not long ago in San Diego at a restaurant. My wife and I were eating, and she eats much, she drinks. But we were at a restaurant eating. She's a big woman. So we were at a restaurant eating. I kind of like them big. We were at a restaurant eating, and this guy came in. He says, "Hi, is the owner of the business in?" And I nudged my wife. I said, "What's this?" And it's a little pizzeria, family-owned business. And the girl at the front goes back and tells him, somebody's out there. And the guy literally came from the back of the kitchen with a butcher knife in his hand. He says, "Yeah, what can I help you? What can I help you with?" And they go, "Well, I'm with Reach Mobile." He was with Reach Mobile, which is a big company. "I'm with Reach Local." And he says, "Get the fuck out of here." "Oh, get the heck out of here." He ran the guy. "Sorry, I'm sorry." He said, get out of here. That's exactly what he said, though. He said, "Get out of here." And then he spent the next 20 minutes just wearing out the girl that worked the front counter that came and got him and interrupted his business of running his business to talk to the person up front who only wanted money from him. Okay? So if you're going to approach it that way, you're a special kind of stupid, and I can't help you. Okay? I'm going to show you a much different way to approach it. What I'm going to tell you here is a really big part, and you might even consider it profound. I thought it was. Write this down. Every single employee in every single business is charged with and will never get in trouble for what? Bringing money into the business. Every single one of them. But there's usually only one or two people. In our case, Big Mama back there is the only one who can actually spend any money. And let me tell you, she ain't interested in talking to you. Okay? There's only one person, so write that down. Every person in a business is in charge of generating money for that business, but only one person in that business is in charge of spending it. And the odds of you, with a face full of whiskers, getting to that person who can spend the money are slim and none. You get that? Everybody get that? How many people you think already are going, "Man, I've been approaching this the wrong way"? Quite a few. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example here. Gosh dang. I got my notes out of order. I'm going to give you an example here. Has anybody ever owned a restaurant? You owned a restaurant? Okay. So a fine restaurant or a fast food restaurant? Fast food. So anybody ever owned or worked in a fine restaurant or managed a fine restaurant? Anybody? Okay. How many of you guys plan on having some restaurant clients over time? Yeah, probably. Okay, food service clients. Here's an example of cheese versus Whiskers. So Dean ran a campaign for the National Restaurant Association with, I believe it was Reach Mobile or one of the big mobile marketing companies, to try to get Reach Local, to try to get them to leverage the National Restaurant Association to get into restaurants and to get them to. So the headline of the email before Dean got to them was, "We'll fill up your restaurant on Tuesday night." Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? So you open the email up and it says, "Hi, we're with the National Restaurant. We're working in conjunction. We're with Reach Local. We're working in conjunction with the National Restaurant Association to help restaurant owners nationwide to fill the restaurant on Saturday night by the use of social media and right? Now they got the National Restaurant Association. Y'all probably be excited if you got that deal, right? It generated a 3% click-through rate, to the open mails, and it generated 0 leads from 36,000 pieces of mail. 0 leads. That's your market. They don't give two shits about you and what you want to do. They care about them. So they hired Dean. They paid Dean an obscene amount of money. And I bet the guy that got back Dean's answer was furious. Because Dean sat down, he thought about it for 3 days. And then he wrote this email. Open line from a Gmail address. That was very important. Write this down. This is a system, okay? I'm going to start telling you the system. These are the parts of it. Number one, get yourself a Gmail account. If you can't afford one, I'll loan you the money. Number two, and have it be your name or Dean S. It doesn't matter. Dean 1475. It doesn't matter. From Gmail. And they mailed the list in small segments from Gmail, and here was the headline. Question mark. There's the headline. The interior said, do you cater weddings? Question mark. That's it. No link to click, no form to fill out, nothing. Do you cater weddings? Wedding catering to fine restaurants is a giant hunk of cheese. Do you get that? It's where they can make a month off a wedding. Now, what you got to figure out in the different industries that you approach, right? What is their cheese? Every business has cheese. I'll give you another example after this one, okay? So, do you guys cater weddings? Now, who got that mail? The owner? Maybe, but probably not. Probably somebody else. If they got the first mail, what do you think happened to it? They've already got instructions on what to do with those mails. Right? How many of y'all tell your employees, that goes in the circular file? I do it all the time. They already know what to do. Instead, this email got a reply from 35% of the people they sent the mail to. Not open, not click through, a reply. Now they were engaged in a conversation. Took a little more time, and you're local, you can do this. Trust me, have somebody else do it. Took a little more time. It's all boilerplate. So they would write back, yes, we do, and we do this, whatever. So it doesn't matter what they said, really. So the second reply, here's the difference. Now you're not marketing at somebody, right? You're in a conversation. You're in a dialogue. It's a totally different thing, okay? Is everybody getting this? Okay, I'm being slow and meticulous because I don't want anybody to miss anything. The second email that goes out, that one, by the way, I call that email pure cheese. Okay? The second email, I call the toaster. Okay? There's a second email, exposes just a teensy-weensy bit of whisker so that you're being ethical, but it really turns up the heat. Great. The other restaurants that I've been working with are at capacity. Could you guys handle 5 to 10 wedding catering jobs a month? Could you handle an additional 5 to 10 wedding catering jobs a month? What do you think they're going to say? Highest margin piece of business they do. Right? Hi. Hey, I noticed your website that you do social media stuff, but I got 400 locations. I don't know. Could you do that? Could you do 400 locations for me? Would you reply to that mail? How quick? I'm going to tell you about how quick. Somewhere between that. Well, there was no subject line. It's just a reply. It's just a reply. There's no more subject lines. You don't need them. So it's just a conversation. That's email number 2. Email number 3 is the brilliant part of the system. Email number 3 is what I call the pass. Okay? Email number 3, they're going to write back, Yes, we absolutely could. You don't want it to be some overwhelming number like asking if you take 400 clients. But could you take on all 5 of my locations? Shoot, yeah. Right? So the third email is the genius email. The third email, I love this one. And this is Dean. This is not me. I wish it were me. God, I wish it was me. I want to steal this and write a book. Okay. The third email says, great, I've just got some questions. And you have 5 or 6 or 7 questions that you ask about the size of the facility, the discounts that they offer based on the amount of people in the party. Do you do hot, cold, whatever? What's the beverage service like? What's the hourly rate? Are there hourly rates for the servers, or is that included in the food price? Right? So that email goes back. Now, Mary Ellen, the receptionist at the front desk, I'm going to pay for that, says, I don't know what happened to your paycheck this week. It got lost in the mail. So whoever the girl is or the guy is that's been handling this conversation so far, if you've not been dealing with the owner, at that point, that mail has to ask a question, at least one question in it, that you know that a subordinate can't effectively answer. Okay? And that's the sneaky Pete part of the system. They're going to go in and they're going to say, hey, boss, if they haven't already, I've been emailing with this guy that's asking if we can do 15 weddings. He's asking all these questions. 15 weddings? Give me that. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to let you screw this up. Did the guy give you a phone number? Yeah, it's in the email. All right, get out here. I'll call him. Boom. You got your phone call. How do you like that? Have you ever heard of a better way to get somebody to call you? I can't imagine a way to get the phone to ring better. And guess what it cost? Nothing. It doesn't cost you one single solitary nickel. And it's better than just about anything you can possibly do. Okay. So, are we ready, crew? That page, you guys totally suck. All right. I was trying to get my Letterman moment, man. Letterman would sue somebody in a shirt like this trying to take his act. All right. By the way, if y'all hadn't noticed, somewhere in the world tonight, there's a pimp with no shoes. All right. And I like it that way. All right, so now the handoff happens. So now the guy's going to call you, right? This is where I love to use voicemail. Normally, you don't want to get somebody's voicemail. I prefer that he get your voicemail when he calls you back. Right? Because what you don't want to do is give away the milk. Right? All the women know that. You never give away if you give away the milk, you don't do that. Nobody buys a cow if you give away the milk for free. So you don't give away the milk. So when he calls you back, he still doesn't know who the heck you are. Sorry, lady. Did I get in trouble? Really? How you doing? All right. So anyway, just kidding. My wife would stab me in the heart. Okay, for just saying that. All right. So yeah, you don't want at that point to spill your guts. Because you know what you're going to be saying if you do spill your guts? Meow. It's a great joke about that. Anyway, you don't want to do that. So all you want to do is say, hey, I'm really busy right now. I'm on the road. Can I just run by and see you real quick and talk about it? No, I don't want to talk to you about sending me 15 more weddings a month. I can run by there on Tuesday at 12. Is that cool? Yeah, that's cool. Now you have an appointment. Now, the biggest point of the appointment, so now you're there, right? The biggest point of the appointment, number one, and this is the hard part I hadn't told you about, that you're going to have to do a little bit of work. You got to deliver on that promise, right? So you're going to have to explain to that guy how you're either going to get him listed in Google Local or in the search engines to get him more wedding catering gigs, because his business is probably not listed at all under wedding catering. Most restaurants aren't. Or you're going to have to show him how you can work with him through social media to go out and find everybody in his neighborhood, in his town, that's talking about getting married soon or they're having a wedding, so that you can communicate with those people to use his service to cater their wedding. You've got to have a system or something that you're going to give him to do that, and you've got to have an offer for him. Okay? So here's what I want you to come up with. When you're attacking one of these verticals, you want to come up with a plan. It can be a report, right? It can be anything. And you can go leaf through it with him page by page and leave it with him. Okay? It'd be really great if you did, but only make it on that one thing. But what I want you to do while you're at that appointment, I want you to ask him, I know that you guys have questionnaires, and Laura has one that's 1,000,000 questions long. It's very, very, very good. I prefer one a little shorter, because what you don't want to do, in my opinion, what you don't want to do is make that guy feel really stupid. I mean, he's just going to, if you offend him, you're going to lose him. You just want to raise his awareness that he's not doing everything he can to promote and build his business. Okay? So I'd have 10 questions on there. Things like, on a scale of 1 to 10, God, I love you. Look at that man. One of these days, God will bless you with a good business partner like this man right here. All right. I don't know how I ever got that. All right. Pardon me? National Beer, Texas, baby. Lone Star. Hit it. All right. So, anyway, so you want to have 10 questions. So things like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to get more customers? 4. Right? What are you doing to get your customers to spend more money with you each time they're here? Right? What do you do to get customers to come back on a regular basis? What kind of loyalty programs do you have? How are you communicating? How many multiple channels are you communicating through with your customers? How are you gathering customer contact data so that you can touch your customers and talk to them when you have a sale, other than buying advertising and wasting a lot of money on TV, radio, print, stuff like that? How are you doing that? Oh, I ain't got none of that. Right? When you see him at the point of if you see him at a point of getting truly embarrassed, stop and move on. Because you've accomplished your goal. You don't want to hammer him over the head, okay? And I'm saying him, it can be him or her, it doesn't matter. Then what I want you to do is stop and say, I'd like to get you started to do all these things that I'm talking about, and I'm willing to do it all for you. How about, does that sound good? Because you're probably a little confused. Does that sound good if I do it all for you? So let's start very, very, very small. Warren Buffett has a fantastic saying that I live by in my business life for a number of reasons. He says, I don't go around looking for 10-foot walls to leap over. I look for 2-foot walls to step over. Okay? And I want you guys to think about what you can do for your customer for $50. It's a very magical number, and if I had more time, I could tell you the story of why it's such a magical number. But J.T. Fox is actually a Nazi spy. And he has a clock set that will blow up a bomb underneath the stage if I'm not off on time. So I can't tell you the whole story of that, but if you guys want to ask me later or buy me a beer, when you're buying me a beer, if you want to do that, I'll answer this question for you. I'm not getting anything else. Damn, y'all can get me a beer. So, yeah, where am I at? Okay. $50. So figure out something you do for $50. So maybe it's you build out, maybe it's you use a quick piece of software to build them a Twitter background, a YouTube background, whatever. Something that takes you 30 minutes or less of your personal time to do, right? And you sell it to them for $50. Something that they're going to look at later and go, wow, that would have cost me $500 or $1,000 to have somebody to do that for me. They are so freaking awesome. Okay? Here's a secret to that. 21. People who spend $1 with you once are 21 times more likely to spend money with you in the future. How many of you give money to charity? All right, some cheap bastards in this room. If you'll notice, if you ever give any money through one of those direct mail campaigns to charity, they wear you out with letters for the rest of your life because they know that fact. They don't prospect a lot with fundraising letters anymore. You might get one every so many months. But once you've given money, you get a lot of them because they know that if you've bought into their cause, you're more likely to give them more money. And that's not just charitable causes, that's any cause. That's your cause because your cause is to be the advocate to build that person's business. Okay? You couldn't have a greater cause to them than that. All right? So stop trying to knock their head off on meeting one. I gave this advice to a student of mine in New Zealand, actually a student of Alora's, called me for a coaching session. And she was a professional sales lady. And she was just crying. She said, I've been at this for like 3 months. I've made all these sales calls. I haven't made a single sale yet. And I don't know how to sell. I'm great at it. I don't get it. What am I doing wrong? And I gave her this formula. And she closed the next 3 out of 3 appointments that she went on. And 3 out of 3 of them upgraded to her normal package that's about $550 a month. But getting the $550 on the first initial contact was near impossible. Does that make sense? Okay? If y'all ever bought a product from Ryan or I, you know how that works, right? Y'all get that. It's just $77. It's cheap. Get it now. And we do have that one more thing. All right. So, right? Sorry. It's the way it works. It's always good stuff. Okay, so does everybody get the 2-foot wall principle? Okay, now, let's assume for a minute, for some reason, you can't close them for $50, which means you're pretty weak. So if you can't close them for $50, the next thing I want you to do, I don't want you to ever give it to them free. Okay? The next thing I want you to do is say, if they have any resistance at all, say, how about this? Let's barter. I'll do this for you, and if you like it, you give me $50 worth of dry cleaner. You give me $50 worth of food in your restaurant. Does that sound pretty good? Almost nobody will turn down that deal. And the great thing about barter, you don't care about the money you make on this transaction. Forget it. It's a loss leader. It's a self-liquidating offer, as we call them really in the marketing business. So you don't care if you're making money or not. Matter of fact, if you got salespeople doing this, I'd give them 100% of it plus their normal commission on the other sale. Okay, because it gives them gas money every day. Okay, so, and I don't have time to talk about salesmen, but you can do this this whole system works with salespeople, so you don't ever have to do any of this yourself if you don't want to. So, barter if you can. If barter doesn't work, which is practically never, say this. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and do all this work for you, and I'll do it on a trial. So if you don't like it, you don't pay for it. If you do like it, I'm going to bill you 90-day net. So I'll send you an invoice and you can pay it sometime in the next 90 days. I'm going to give you 90-day terms on $50. I don't care if I ever get the damn $50. But I'm going to make them sign an order form, and that shows the terms, right? And I'm definitely going to bill them. You want to bill them. But by the time you come back with what you've done for them for $50, when I tell you the next part, you don't have to worry about any of that. Okay? Everybody liking it so far? Yeah. Man, I like it too. The next part's the best part. JT, have I got time? You sure? All right. I'm screwing with you. Yeah, the more beer I drink, the more I talk. Okay. So, just a hint. Okay. No, I'm kidding. I don't want anything else. Thank you, though. I'm just kidding. All right. So this is at the nut cutting time. This is when you want to get in there and make your paper, boo-boo, right? This is when you want to get that check. You want to get that money, right? So here's what I want you to do. And I'm going to have to switch over a little bit to live, and I want to show you. I'm going to show you a couple things. Can I go to? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Y'all are awesome about that part anyway. Good for you. All right. The secret is you want to deliver whatever you promised them. And you want to show it to them live. You want it to be good. That's all great. But what if you delivered to them such an exceptional value, right? Over-delivered to them such an exceptional value, they felt guilty not giving you more money. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? All right, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that for 51 cents. Is that okay? Everybody got 51 cents? All right, cool. If you don't, I'll loan it to you. All right. So we're going to go over here. First of all, you need a flip video camera or some sort of a little tiny video camera, right? You're going on the appointment anyway. Your salesperson's going on the appointment anyway. I want you to make a little 30-second or 60-second video while you're there that shows the inside of the restaurant and the outside of the restaurant, and just do, hi, this is Villa Castriati Italian Restaurant. They specialize in all this cool stuff. Here's Villa's menu. It's full of succulent, delicious food. They're fantastic. One of the best places in town to go for a romantic dinner with your wife. You go outside and you show the front of the buildings. It's located right here at 1745 Poplar Avenue, zip code address. You can call them for reservations at 512-555-1212. Can everybody in here do that? You don't have to be on the video for all you freakish shy people. I'm shy too. I mean, I know how you feel. So, anyhow, yeah, don't buy me too much beer. What you're going to do with that video when you get home, uh-oh, there's that porn site again. Hold on a second. Hey, I'm typing hey spread. I better be careful. All right, there we go. Y'all are dirty-minded. All right, what is wrong with my browser? What happened? Oh, the tech guys, y'all screwed me up again. I tell you, I'm going to kill y'all. I'm kidding. It's okay. I'll show you. You get the general idea. This is a website called HeySpread. 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 If you guys have Traffic Geyser or one of the other distribution softwares, it'll work fine. I like HeySpread because it's all online. There's no software involved. It's really quick. So what you're going to do is take that video, right, and you're going to upload it to HeySpread. And they're going to charge you 3 cents per video per outlet. And they're going to upload that video you just shot to 17 video sharing sites. Okay? You're not going to tell them you're doing this, okay? This is free. Doesn't cost anything. They're going to upload it to 17 video sharing sites. Now, one of those websites that they upload to is called MetaCafe. So one of the videos will be at a service called MetaCafe. For whatever reason, MetaCafe's videos get indexed faster than all the other videos. Okay? Now here's a little trick, by the way, on videos, if y'all are wondering how to rank your YouTube videos. When you use HeySpread, nobody ever thinks to do this. It's so simple. When you use HeySpread to distribute a video to the 17 video sites, which one do you really want to be big on? YouTube, right? So everybody puts them up in all the other video sites, and they each give you a link to go back to your site or whatever, right? So everybody puts a link back to their site, right? Wrong. Don't ever do that ever again, because 99% of those sites are never going to rank. Make the link in all the other services other than the YouTube video, go back to the YouTube video. Okay? That YouTube video will rank page 1 Google in a week. Now, you don't have a week maybe, right? If it's for a lower competition term like, Houston, Texas Pizza Parlor or something like that. So, what you want to do here, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Okay, there's a step 2. Okay, so now the videos are all up in their places, and you can go to MetaCafe and see the video that's at MetaCafe, which is another service a lot like a YouTube. For whatever reason, those videos get indexed the fastest. I mean, sometimes within a matter of a couple of hours, that video will get indexed into Google from MetaCafe. Now, I'm going to send you over to a site called Fiverr, which I'm sure you all, who doesn't know about Fiverr? Okay, so most people know about Fiverr. Fiverr is a great service that allows you to do anything in the world that you want to do just about for $5. People will do anything for you for $5. Okay? And what you're going to do this is all pretty ninja stuff that I don't tell people, but Angelas. You're going to go over here to the right-hand side, and you're going to type this thing that says Angelas. Angela's list is a list of high PR blogs, right? They put out a list every month, and you can buy it, and you can go post those high PR blogs to get backlinks to your website. We ain't going to do none of that because that's called work, and we don't like that. Outsourcing, I learned from Ryan Dice. If I ain't got to do it, it's outsourced, right? I mean, it's automated. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look up Angelas, and see that little tab right there that says rating? We're going to click on that, and we're going to wait for 20 minutes because the hotel internet sucks. All right. I'll create 280 Angelas profile backlinks for PR2, PR7 sites to help your site dominate Google for $5. It's the highest rated guy that does that job. That means thousands of people have used him, and he's always done a great job for them, right? Pretty safe bet. 280 backlinks to a website will make that website rank pretty doggone good. 280 backlinks to a YouTube video, to a MetaCafe video, will put it probably between position 2 and 3 on Google in 2 days for your term. Okay? Not to the YouTube, to MetaCafe. You're going to do this one to MetaCafe only because, and if you get the client, you should go back and do the same thing again to YouTube, because that'll solidify your YouTube position. First one you want to do is MetaCafe, and the reason why you want to do MetaCafe first is because it indexes the fastest, okay? YouTube sometimes can take up to a week depending on what's going on. So, pardon? That's correct. That's correct. All the other videos link to YouTube, okay? Am I losing anybody? I'm losing you? If you want to see me, I'll be glad to talk with you, particularly after, about any of the details. I'll be here. I'm here all weekend. All right. Huh? They can put a link. They put a link in all the other videos, link description. Every video service gives you the ability to put a link in the description. So you're going to drive all those links back to your YouTube video. Your YouTube video link can go to that customer's Google local pages. It can go to their website. It doesn't really matter for the purpose that I'm demonstrating here. Okay? What I want, the whole reason we're doing this is you're going to go back to see Jimmy, who paid you $50. The only other time he's ever worked with a web guy in his life, he screwed the snot out of him for $2,500, and it was his brother-in-law. Okay? So you're $50. He ain't expecting much. So you come back and you got these dazzling graphics and a Facebook page and a Twitter page and a YouTube channel and wow, awesome. There's even you mean there's even a video in my YouTube channel? Holy crap, I've hit the lottery. Yeah, I hope you don't mind. I did one more thing. What'd you do? Well, I took this video of your business while I was here, and I distributed it to 17 video sites, and I went ahead and had my SEO guys go in, which you are. And we went to 280 other websites, and we got links from all those websites back to your video. And here it is. If you Google yourself right now, Google Houston, Texas Pizza Parlor right now and see what happens. You're number 3. How's that? You think that guy's going to write you a check? You bet you. He'd be an idiot if he didn't. Okay? Now, what you're going to do at that meeting, okay, you got a chance to redeem yourself, boys. Like JT Fox, you went off a little bit early on that one. All right. I'm kidding. I bust on JT. JT is one of my dearest friends and one of the biggest assets a business can have. Love you, boy. You know that. I'll show you later tonight. We have a few more beers. All right. Now, 7 hours over. Now, the next step you need in the system is to future cast. You know what future casting is? This is you now. This is your business now. This is your business on drugs. That's what you need to show them. Now, I did all this for you for $50 because I only spent about 30 minutes. So you don't tell me that. I only spent a certain period of time working on this for you. If I could do this for you full time, I think we could move mountains and put your business head and shoulders above, insert name of, their biggest competitor. Because more than they want to make more money, they want to kick the snot out of the biggest guy in town. And you're their secret weapon. That he won't know what hit him. Can you imagine? He's not up there. He didn't have a video number 3 on Google. I did that since yesterday. By the way, that thing will typically work in about 14 hours. So if you really want to go back, I don't ever set the appointment until it ranks. You call them back, yeah, I got your stuff already when you see that video rank. And go real quick because MetaCafe does go back down in the ratings after time, but by the time it does, your YouTube will be coming back up. Does that make sense? It takes place. Okay, now, the fourth contact you're going to have with them is the first month's reporting. Ryan probably talked a little bit about client management with you yesterday and client expectations. To me, the biggest thing with client expectations is reporting, okay? So when you go back to show that report, it needs to be as pretty as it can be. I used to have an accounting company, did all my accounting for me, 5 years. I paid this guy $500 a month because he brought me this big binder of beautiful reports every month. And finally, when I got big enough, I hired an accountant to come in and work in-house. And he said, well, all your records? I said, oh, they're all up there. They're really beautiful binders. They're really fantastic. This guy, I don't know if we should hire somebody. This guy's fantastic. Our CPS. And he opens them up and he starts giggling because they're all the reports that you press one button and get on QuickBooks. All the guy did was enter my checks. For $500 a month, he entered about 70 checks into QuickBooks for me. But had he not brought me the reports, but he brought me the reports, I loved him forever, right? So try to make those reports as pretty as you possibly can. There's a really good service if you're doing SEO called IBP, and there's a few others. And I hesitate to mention it a little bit, but we have totally rebuilt Placemat from the ground up for those of you who have Placemat, and the new release will be out in a few days. And it's fantastic. And it has social in it as well as local now, and the reporting functions and the graphs are beautiful and everything else. It's not even the same piece of software. We totally scrapped the code completely and started over from scratch. So you guys will be getting that. It's really fantastic. I think you're going to like it a lot. Okay, the last thing you want to do on that monthly reporting, and even before you leave the first appointment, here's something I want you to remember to say. Hey, would you do me a favor? I'm your advocate now. I'm looking out for you. And this tech stuff can be sometimes challenging. If you do anything tech-wise, if your computer breaks, if you get a new computer, if you want to do something online, if you're looking at any other form of advertising, I'm pretty much an advertising expert. And to them, whether you think you're, great as an advertising person or not, you know 4,000 times more than they know by being here this weekend. So use that. I mean, I love Kid Rock. I played when it came up. He played his first concert. Nobody knew who he was. He rented out this giant concert hall, put up posters everywhere, radio commercials, and a bunch of people showed up, and he had a record contract the night of his very first major concert. He had 3 record companies fighting over him. At the end of the day, he did an interview the next day, and he said, why do you think you got a record contract? He said, because if you act like you're big shit, people will treat you like you're big shit. And that's something you gotta be prideful in what you do. Okay? So you're building an iron cage at that point. You want to be their advisor, and you're going to understand why in a minute. And a lot of times they're just going to call you up and say, hey, I'm thinking about buying an ad in the newspaper. What do you think? And if you can call the newspaper and negotiate them a little better ad, do it for them. You don't have to make money on everything you do for people, okay? They're going to love you, right? Eventually, you'll make money from everything they do, and I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so we're at step number 2 in the system. That is getting more customers. Is that pretty cool? Everybody happy with that? Okay. Can I do questions at the end? Because he's got me, the Nazi's got me. All right. All right. Okay. Get him to spend more money. Reporting. The prettier the reports, the better. You've got to explain to them, once they're getting an ROI from you, and there are a couple of ways they're going to get ROI, like Ryan explained, I'm sure. There's ROI in money, there's ROI in vanity, and there's ROI in technical reporting. Right? Once they're getting ROI, it doesn't matter which, you're in a much better position. Because now, whatever you want to charge them to do more, you write down this term because it's the most important term you'll ever learn in business. You're selling money at a discount. You're selling money at a discount. So anytime you can go in and sell a service where you're gonna charge somebody $500, and by numbers they've already experienced, they're going to make $5,000, it's a slam dunk. And the best thing you can do is to let them do the calculations themselves. You can say, hey, you're using me for how much a month? Oh, I will get the $300 contract. And how much more revenue did you generate this much? How many more? I think we probably made $2,500, $3,000 more money this month. So you got a pencil? How many times multiple is that? Oh man, it's like 9 times. So you 9 times what you spent with me, you made? Yeah. Wow. Let me show you this new package I got. Right? It's $1,000 a month. Well, I can't afford it. Dude, you can't afford not to do it. Right? It's like Google PPC. You're going to buy all you can if it's working. All right. And this is a biggie too. You want to ask them, the reason you're asking them to talk to you about their other spends, tell them you'll be their free agency. Groupon, the Yellow Pages, if anybody ever really uses the Yellow Pages, newspapers, radio, will be your free advertising agency. We don't charge you anything. We don't even charge a commission to the media service. We're just going to do it to you as a favor. You know why you're going to do it as a favor? Here's why you want us to do that for you, Mr. Customer. Because we have tracking metrics, and we can track and see if it actually worked or not for you. And the radio stations aren't going to do that. I'll do it for you for free just because I want to be your advocate. Guess what? Most of that crap doesn't work. We all know it. Most of it doesn't ROI. But don't try to talk them out of it then. Go ahead and let them run it. Because you know when they're done and it didn't work, they have budget. Right? You want to absorb their other spends in additional services. Does that make sense? And they may be running advertising right now. So listen, first people I'd love to call on are people who are running ads already. Those are guys who already have budget. They're already spending money. They don't know, and I promise you 99.99% of them don't know if it's working or not. They don't have a clue. And when you start tracking it, they realize that crap doesn't work. Man, don't you think, Bob, you spent $3,000 on that last month. You've made $47. You want to shift some of that money around, do something different? Yeah. You gotta figure that out, really. You guys are marketers. You got to figure out your tracking. You should tell them to put in a tracking mechanism, a coupon, something like that. Are you advertising on the radio? Yeah. Are you using couponing? No, I'm not. You need a coupon or discount code, or you can't tell if it's working or not. So the first month they do couponing, they're going to get 3 coupons in, and they spent $3,000. They sold 3 fish dinners, right? That guy's going to be willing to do something else with that $3,000 next month. I promise you. That'll be a good use of your time. Okay, getting him to spend, pardon? Oh, I thought something. Getting him to spend money more often. Like I said before, you're a trusted provider now. Let's go back to the thingy. I think I've skipped like 20 screens. Let's go back to the, yeah. Oh, that was a Promise Avenue in reality. That's the over-deliver. Dry cleaners, by the way, I was going to give you just another example of a cheese. Dry cleaners make some of their biggest money off insurance work, smoke damage, flood damage work. So you could call up you could send the same email to dry cleaners and say, hey, you guys do smoke damage work? Because they average $2,000-$3,000 a ticket. When a fire burns, when a house burns or catches on fire, when the clothes get smoky, the insurance company pays to have them all dry cleaned. So every business has a currency like this, and you're going to have to do a little homework to figure out what that is. Yeah, and like I said, everybody has their cheese. Every business has some form of cheese. You're going to have to figure that out. So we've already talked about actually, supersizing it, getting them to spend more money with you. And you do that basically by really good reporting, money to discount, and absorbing their other spends. Okay? So now I want to talk to you, and we're getting actually close to the end. I might actually be on time. Is making additional money. The iron cage mentality, you've already got them to where they're 21 times more likely to spend money with you than they are another provider. Now, everybody thinks that only applies to the business that you're in. You're wrong. I'll tell you a couple stories. One, when I moved to Austin, Texas, I thought it was the greatest place on earth, and I still do. I think it's a great city to live in because I came from Memphis, Tennessee. If you come from Memphis, pretty much anywhere is the best place in the world to live in. Anybody here from Memphis? All right, good. I don't like Memphis. All right, a lot of reasons for that. Anyway, when I moved from Memphis, Tennessee, which everything was like what you want. There was everything, you go into a store there, people are depressed, there's a poor economy, terrible service everywhere. You go to Austin, everybody's employed, everybody's making money, everybody's happy, right? So I went through and got my car washed at this car wash. And I had a BMW, at the time I had a BMW 745. And it had these honeycomb wheels. So every time I got my car washed, they never got clean, right? So I already knew that. So in Memphis, I used to run through the car wash, and I'd drive immediately over to the spray-off car wash and get in line because I knew I was going to have to clean my wheels. So I started to do that in Austin, and I'm sitting in the drive-thru. I went through the car wash. I know my wheels aren't clean. I'm not even going to get out and take a look at them. So I just go over to the spray-off part of the car wash, and I get in line. And I am sitting in the car, and I'm fiddling on my phone or doing something, and there's a tap on my car window, which in Memphis means you're about to get shot. And you don't have a car no more. Right? I freak out. So I'm startled, And I roll down the window, and I said, yeah, come here, because nobody wants to get shot. So I rolled down the window, and I said, and the guy says, hey, didn't you just come through the car wash? Like in a sort of abrupt tone. I said, yeah. Yeah, I did. You got a problem? He said, what are you doing over here? I said, I'm going to spray off my wheels. He said, your wheels aren't clean? I said, no, I know they're not. He said, you're not going to spray them off. Bring the car back through again. We're going to wash it and take care of it until we get it right. I'm like, Dorothy, you ain't in Kansas no more, right? And so I drove my car around. They washed it, and it was awesome. I don't get my car washed anywhere else. So the other day, it was pretty funny. I've been in Austin a long time now. The other day, I'm driving through, and I went the wrong way to go to the car wash, and I overshot it, and I had to go in through a back drive, and they built a Valvoline oil change there, right? My oil hadn't been changed in 3 weeks. 3 weeks past due, we can change. And I pulled in, and it says, Mr. Magic now owns this Jiffy Lube oil change place. I got my oil changed there, and I'll never get it changed anywhere else because that guy will take care of me, and I know it. It doesn't matter that, there's an old comedian I love, James Gregory. He's my favorite in the world. He does this bit about, he said, I was driving down here tonight, and I saw this sign in the window. It said, lawnmower repair and income tax service. He said, you know what that means? Sometime in the past, some old boy said, Charlie, you did a damn good job on that lawnmower. I think I'm going to let you do my taxes. Which is probably exactly the way that business started, believe it or not. All right. There are a lot of those in the South, if you've never been to the deep, deep South. All right. I'm wrapping up. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk to you about, and then I'll close, is additional services. That's my lead into that point. You guys are crazy if you're not offering a full suite of services to your clients, because there's a whole new industry building of service providers who will do those things for you, white label or as a contract or wholesale, that you can provide to your local customers. And the biggest mistake I see people making, I always say you starve the ponies and you feed the stallions. That's my motto, okay? Starve the ponies and feed the stallions. I used to have a guy, Stan Glasgow, was an old Southern tyrant. He was my first mentor in business. And he was a big, powerful, giant man, and I'm not. And he was like, "Yeah, see, Perry, the tail don't wag the dog around here." That's what he used to tell me when I worked for him. And for just a little bit, and then we became business partners. And I learned more from him. He taught me everything I could learn about business in a matter of a year or so under his tutelage. He was fantastic. But his whole thing was, you got to maximize every single sale. People are going to buy from you. They're not going to buy what you sell. They're buying you. Okay? So when you go in there and you've done them a good job and you've had a good training, who's done 10 business transactions of some sort, little, big, whatever, in the last week? Bought gas, went to the grocery store, right? Come on, raise your damn hand. Come on, play the game. Come on, give the guy a break. Keep your hand up. Jesus, y'all are dead, man. All right, now, keep your hand up. If all 10 of them were great transactions, you were happy with every one. Exactly. Wow, one guy? Really? You're a lucky duck. 99% of the time you're not. You're disappointed with the way people treat you. Okay? If you treat people well, you stand out. And people will give you all their business. Additional services. I'm going to talk Sunday afternoon about additional services that you can offer your customers, and we're going to go into more detail. The biggie is search engine optimization work. Julian Farley will be here talking about that tomorrow. And he's our resident SEO ninja, and he is just bad to the bone. You need to learn it, but you don't need to do it. Okay? You need to get other people to do it for you. But it's like owning a mechanic shop. You need to learn how to work on the engines before you just cut Bubba loose on it. Right? Not that everybody that works in a mechanic shop is named Bubba. Bubba works for me. This is an interesting one. Testimonial services. This is one of the craziest services I've ever heard of. Right? There's a guy right now that's operating a great service. This is not first-hand knowledge. This is second-hand knowledge, but it's really cool, where he calls up businesses and emails businesses, "Hey, I noticed that you don't have any testimonials on your website or on your Places page or whatever. For $197, I'll get you 3 real-life testimonials for your business." His take rate is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Everybody wants them. He said, "I'll get them on video and I'll get them in print for you." Is that worth $197 to most businesses? You know what he does? Goes to their businesses and waits for the next 3 customers to leave. That's it. Shoots a little 5-minute video with them, has the video transcribed, and delivers on his promise. You think he gets more work? You betcha. It's another great way. It's cheese. People need testimonials. That's cheese for a business. List building and database, which, by the way, I believe is personally going to be the biggest section of your business in the next year. Mark my words on that. Nobody's selling it yet except for a few people, and the people I know that are just making gym bags full of money. And that's basically teaching people how to get their leads to sign up for email, and you manage the email and communicate with them for them. You can charge, a good friend of mine has 800 of these clients paying $800 a month for him to do this. And you can figure that up if you want. It's a whole lot of money. And guess when they leave? Never. You got them for life. And all you got to do is come up with some clever ways, and I can help you with some of that, how you get emails. Like, one of the things I thought was really cool was he's telling all of his restaurant clients to throw away those pager systems. Get rid of them. What's your cell? We'll text you when your table's ready. You know how many of them are going to think to do that? None. Mr. Dry Cleaner, right? You want us to text you when your clothes are ready for pickup? Right? So then on Tuesday when he's slow, he can text everybody and say, "Hey, we got half off pants and shirts today if you can get them in by 12. And he just texts everybody, and the freaking place is overrun with people. You think that customer's pretty happy with his database manager? You bet you. And you're talking about buying one email broadcast account for $49 that can handle probably 100 local clients. And you don't own the contacts. They're their contacts, and you shouldn't try to keep them from them, but they wouldn't know what to do with them if they had them back. Copywriting services. You guys are probably all better you're probably all suck as copywriters, to be frank with you, because most people can't write copy. Thank God, that's why I got a job. But you're probably better than they are. You're probably way better than they are. And there are guys on Fiverr that will write copy for you for $5 if it's fairly brief, and you can charge quite a lot of money for menus and for brochures and things like that. And they all want all that stuff. Even computer repair, hardware, I got 2 minutes, JT. Even computer repair, hardware, you can have people that you work with and all that in a local community who will pay you. Do you know that tech support companies, most tech support companies, the big nationals, will pay you 50% referral fee for computer service and maintenance? 50%. What's the name of Cooch's company? Ryan, are you still in here? He stepped out. I'll get you the name and put it up later. But they'll pay 50% just to send somebody to work on somebody's computer for you, and they're trustworthy. They want you, basically. Now, the very last thing that we'll talk about, I was showing don't get ahead of me. Like companies like Sears, the additional services thing, grocery stores, this is an interesting statistic. If a person goes to a grocery store 3 times and they don't have the brand of something they're looking for, they'll go to another grocery store. The same is true with you. If you don't provide the service for them, somebody else will, and eventually they'll knock you out of the saddle. So make the money while you can. Make your paper, boo-boo. Sears. Do you know how Sears almost went bankrupt some years ago? The only thing that saved them is because they owned Allstate insurance. What's that got to do with Sears? Nothing. But they had customers just like you. They had a channel. The last thing I'll talk about is stick. If anybody don't know what stick is keeping the customers. You keep them excited but manage their expectations. Number 1, report. And you guys need to have a newsletter. A weekly or at least monthly newsletter that you produce, digitally or printed, it's totally up to you, on local marketing that goes out to every single one of your clients every month.
What's really working now that we've been doing and we've been telling our clients, every month I send out an email. It's called In the Life of JT Fox. And it's basically because reality TV, 13 years later after Mark Burnett, is still as hot as possible. So by putting an email in the life of, and then basically what you're talking about and say, listen, I went into, say, a local restaurant and we were doing this and here's what's not working, and facts tells, emotions sell. And so basically what you are is you're selling, but you're not selling, you're telling the story. And at the end say, by the way, if you want me to do the same thing for you there, that's very effective. A lot of people get newsletters, but people want to know, like, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? Like, people live through people, and since everyone tends to think that marketers are just the coolest people on the planet and we have a different life because we're creative and we can do stuff, they want to live through you. And it's a really effective. For example, the open rate is 3 times more in that email than any other emails we send out.
Yeah, you can do it digitally as a PDF. You can do it as a print. It depends on the effect that you want to have. The content you need is very expensive to acquire. You're going to have to go to Google and create something called a Google Alert and put in the term local marketing. And every day Google will send you all the most important articles in the world about local marketing, and you're going to have to sift through 5,000 of them to decide which 3 or 4 you're going to print. Content is nothing. So easy to come across. Okay? So, and lastly, the very last thing, I suggest that you get your customers together as often as you can for a little mixer, a little dinner, something like that, and help them to cross-promote their local businesses together, particularly if you're working in one market. You can be the facilitator of that. You're the catalyst. Okay? You're the center of influence for your tribe. That's the most important thing you need to learn. And I would suggest getting together everybody for a mastermind, all your different businesses to come together and mastermind 2 or 3 times, at least 1 time a year. All your different clients come together, mastermind, share ideas, and figure out how they can help each other. If you do the things I just told you, you will slaughter any competitor in your marketplace. I promise you that. You guys agree? Yeah. All right, cool. If you guys have your wicked smart ideas, if you guys want to wait on that for a little bit, you want to think about that a little bit more, you want to do that. What do you want to do, JT?
You and I are going to go hot seat in about half hour, so why don't we do it after the hot seat?
Okay. You have a little more time to think.
Yeah, and
think about your wicked smarts, and we'll give away the iPad.
And I want to bring up that
Oh, damn it. I forgot the best part. Damn, I almost forgot it. I almost slipped by. If you guys need me for anything, there's all my, well, they kind of wrap that a little. That's all my contact stuff. If I can help you in any way at any time, ever.
Can I ask you a question before? You're obviously really good. Is he good? By the way, give him a round of applause.
Thanks.
Sit down. Don't encourage him. In terms of the key to success, a lot of people have been focused on the transactional part of like YouTube and Twitter and all these other things. In your opinion, for them to really take their business to the next level, what's the really key? Is it the how-to or is it the? 1 second. See what I want to get work done.
False start. You're familiar with that one too, aren't you, buddy? All right, here we go. All right.